Hey, what's up guys, WoolTimber730 here. Today I thought I would give you guys a little bit of a kind of tips and tricks on how to get better at Flow. Now for you guys who don't know what Flow is, it's basically a puzzle game where you have to connect basically the different color origins to their other ones. So if I take my yellow, for example, right here, and I connect it to this one, you can see it connects. And then that kind of, those squares are then colored in. And then I have to do it with all of them in order to make the full, in order to basically cover the entire board. But there are a few levels that can get a little tricky. Now you can see I've already completed most of them. There's an update where we got new packs. But if we go into example to the worm pack, this looks like a pretty hard level. But there are a few things in this specific level that can make it a little bit easier. So I'm going to fly through this level pretty quick here. And then afterwards, I'm going to show you kind of what I'm thinking during this, I guess, process is the best way to describe it. So yeah, let me just kind of run through here. As you can see, and just like that, you could see right there that I just now completed that specific board. And as we can see, oh, great. We have an ad. You gotta love ads, don't you? Get out of here. So, but you can see then I just completed that level and it was fairly simple, actually. So let me kind of go through and explain what I think, like how my thought process is when I'm doing these levels. So we're gonna go to 140, which is a map or a board I have not completed yet. And let me kind of run down through what I'm thinking. So the first tip I can really give you is to follow the border. And what I mean by this is this kind of outsign line right here. And if you can, as you can see with yellow right here, I can follow the border, and like so, I have now just created that, and it works really well because it allows me to see more of the map of the board, and how all the other pieces are going to go. Now sometimes, all right, so let's do the white, and then I guess the green. Actually, okay, that was my next point right there. So with the green, let me get rid of that real quick. With the light green, with this tip, it's basically what I call make a border. So in this case right here, with up here with the purple and the light green, there's really no good way to follow the border in this case. Okay, fine, whatever. But the point is, if that wasn't the case, then what I would do is what is called create a border. So with the light green, like so, as you can see, I've created a border in between those two purples, and as you can see, I can now follow the border that I've just created and then fill it in. So that really wasn't a good, accurate way of showing creating a border. So let me give you another good one. This right here. Doing that is actually a really good way to create a border. Now I'm going to get rid of that just because I don't like that there. But if that's the case, that's what it is. So let's follow the border with our light blue. We'll follow the border with our gray. Follow the border with our orange. Then we'll follow with our green. Oh, right there. This is a good case of creating a border. So with the green, I can follow the border, and then here, the green's basically in the middle, and it's a pretty bad location. But if I move it right overward, you can see that it makes a border for the maroon. That way I can then move it how I need be. Okay, so now let's move our pink. Now, if you guys can't already see, I have made a mistake, and that's perfectly fine. The mistake I have made is what I like to call the side-by-side color. So this is what I mean by this. Basically, if your color that you're using, it doesn't overlap, it turns back on itself like this, and it's basically beside its same color, let me do that. So if I do this, for example, that is incorrect. You can obviously tell it's incorrect, but in any case, that would be incorrect. And additionally, this is another point, which is called the two-square problem. So if at any point, let me quickly show you this, something like that. If this were the case, the maroon can't go into here because of that same problem of the side-by-side kind of point that I was making. So in this case, we have to start over. Now, I'm a perfectionist, which means I pretty much I need to get the stars. I need to get them, or else it just permanency. Now, here I just made a mistake, right? I made a mistake that would cause me to start the whole thing over. Well, not really. If you noticed, I was clicking the bottom left button right here, and if I click on it, boom, it resets the thing, and wherever I messed up with my white, it puts it back. Then all I have to do is drag it again, and as you can see, my moves have not altered, which means I am still in the perfect zone. So I'm fairly sure my light blue is correct, and my gray is correct, and my orange is correct. Now, here's where we need to rethink some stuff. So with the maroon, let's make a border right there. Okay. With the pink, we'll do that. With red, we'll do that. Yep. With green, we'll go around the blue like so. And there you go. So by using the tips I had just given, I was able to complete a board without even another ad. Point is though, with the tips that I have just explained, I was able to beat another board just like that. I mean, it's simple. So, recap, basically follow the border. If you can't, make a border, and obviously don't have the side-by-side like that. And then, yeah. Anything else I really need to mention? There is actually one more point I want to mention, and let me show you this, basically. So if I do something like this is very temporary, don't worry, guys. This is clearly just for demonstration. But if, let's do that, there we go. So if my green were like so, this is a pretty obvious thing, but if you have something like this, where there's just an open gap over here, it's obviously going to be incorrect. Additionally, if you have kind of one point like that, just one square, top left is where I'm at right now. If you have that one little square out there, it's also going to be incorrect. And the last thing really is that you can't do that, where you completely surround one of your colored origins, because if that happens, then it's going to have to overlap, and as you can see, it can't do that. So that's really it about the basic flow. However, there are also 3 other additions to it. First up, we have hexes. Now with hexes, as you can see, it is simply just flow, but it's diagonal. So, as you can see, now that was a pretty easy level. Let's go to a harder level. Okay, this one right here. So we're going to follow the border. And we're going to follow the border right here, and then we're going to curve, and we're going to make a border, follow the newly made border, follow the border again, and then like so. So you can see how easy it is with the steps I just gave you to do that. So hexes, basically the same stuff I just gave. Very simple. Okay, warps. Warps are, in my opinion, the hardest one, simply because it messes up my brain a lot. But as far as it goes, there's not really a good tip I can give you on that. I don't really know with warps. I don't know any good tips with warps. Yeah. Oh. Wait. Never mind. I thought I had a tip right there, but no, I don't. So. Unfortunately, I don't have a tip for this. So, yeah. Can't really help you there. Oh, wait, no, there is one tip. Let me find one. Here's one. So, wait a second. No, never mind. Oh my gosh. Yeah, never mind. I thought I had one, but clearly I don't. But that's warps, very simple, but the one I can give tips on is bridges. Now, let me quickly hop over to flow bridges, and this is flow, but all the levels are with bridges. As you can see, I have already done a lot of the packs, but let's go on to the tower pack where I'm working on right now. So, with the tips with bridges, these are the tips I have. One, if you have a bridge here that, as you can see, like so, with the bridge, if a origin, which is this circle right here, is next to a bridge, whether it be underneath, like it is so, over top, like that, or off to the side, then it has to go through. So with the orange here, I can't do this, because obviously that's going to be completely wrong. It actually has to go through or under the bridge because that origin point is right there. So if I do this, follow the border like so, there you go. Now, if you guys can already see, I've made another mistake, and it's this right here. So this yellow right here cannot go like that. Basically, if a line passes if it passes any of the squares, the north, south, east, west square of a bridge, it's going to be incorrect because another color has to cross over like so. So with that, let me show you how this one would be created essentially. Okay, so we've done our orange because it has to be like that. This is another good point. So whichever way you direction your bridge is a very good way to... Whichever way... Okay, let me explain. So if I do this, it could very well be correct. But if I do this, it could also be correct. And there's a lot of good examples. Let me show you a good example of this. So if I go on to this one right here, if I do this, right, I could also do that. The question is, which one's correct? Let's find out. So let's do this. Let's do that, for example. Now, let's do everything I just talked about in the video. So follow the border, create a border. Okay. So instantly we can now see that there's a problem. The two squares right here. Obviously, we can't be parallel like that. So maybe it's wrong. Let's try it the other way. So if I do it like this, and we're going to do the exact same process over again. Okay. In this case, I have another 2, which means I probably messed up on this bridge over here. Let's try the other way again. So let's do this. Oh, wait, no, it's the other way. Okay. Let's try it this way again. So if I do this, then I do this. Let's skip blue for right now. Let's use our yellow. Let's go like that. Let's do... Let's do pink. Let's not do pink. Let's do maroon. Do like that. Then we'll do green. And then here we can see a problem. We have 2 points that need to cross, but there's only one square to cross through. Right. So in this case, this is actually a point I totally forgot to mention, is that if there's only one viable square to go through and you have 2 points that need to cross, you've done something wrong. Okay, let's try it the other way now. So let's do this. All right, so we're gonna do everything exactly the same. Let's do that. Let's do our maroon, green. Oh, I did the exact same one. My bad, guys. I didn't realize I did the exact same thing. It's like that. There we go. I did not mean to do that. Okay, so then we'll do this. Green. And as you can see, I now have that just like so. So depending on which way you put your color will actually very much so depend on whether or not the board is going to be correct. So, really the biggest tip out of this whole entire thing is it's basically trial and error. If you feel like you've done something wrong, then try something different. It's the simplest thing there is, actually. You have to play around with the board. So, so with those tips, though, you can see how quickly I'm able to do some of these maps. And like I said, it's all through those tips that I've just given. And if I tell someone else these same tips, they can more than likely do the exact same thing that I'm doing right now. Given time, of course, but it is definitely a possibility that they could do that. So with that in mind, guys, that's pretty much going to be it for today's episode. I hope you guys really do enjoy this episode. And if you learned something, then hit the like button. And if you haven't already, consider hitting the subscribe button to join. Okay. Subscribe if you haven't already. It'd mean a lot to me. And hey guys, hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys next time.